Lots of my videos in recent times have been on the geopolitical dance in the world. Things like the cow shit, the wars, deep state, cabal and thing. But it all comes from something. And this is why we have to touch on these deeper subjects, where it all comes from. What did they shift in our psyche, in our being, that's allowing us as humanity to fall into pieces, to accept their evil dictates. And one of these things is the idea of independent, that we are somehow separate, independent from the world around us. Good morning, everybody. It's morning here. It could be any time, wherever you are. Okay, now before we start, just, you know, the ritual that I shill you on. Like, subscribe, because it's important, because it's the only way the message gets spread around. I mean, if you want to comment something, any interaction helps. And if you're watching this on YouTube, consider slowly weaning off YouTube and going into BitChute, Library, Odyssey, Rumble, because we need more freedom. So today's here in Australia, it's Freedom Day. There'll be actions probably in every capital city. And the reason I'm not there is because I live in quite a rural area, and unfortunately there's no action here, and it's just too far for me to go anyway. Now, many people say, I mean, these demos, these actions, do they actually achieve anything? Well, yes and no. Something is always better than nothing. And it's better to do something, even if it's really small, than to do nothing. Now, the Freedom Day demos today are about overreach of government, like in the cow shit 19 story, and now digital IDs and CBDCs, and about Australia's support of Ukraine. It's really, really interesting that the same people who rejected the special medicine for the so-called horrendous disease are the same people who are seeing through the veil of the Ukraine story and are pro-Russia, basically anti-fascist. It's the same people, it's the same crew, and it is a minority. But one has to remember that the world doesn't change by the majority. The world through history has always changed by a powerful, vocal minority. It's interesting being back in the West. I've been now back in the West now for 3 months now, and almost 3 months. I mean, nature is amazing, but society is sick. Society is so sick, I don't know where to start, and I don't know if I want to get into it today so much. I think comfortable people are easier to brainwash. Now, as you can see, we're sitting today in nature. You can hear the birds singing. It's quite late in the morning in a way. I think it's already past, I don't know, 7:30 or something, but still, they're still celebrating the glory of the morning. One I wanted to talk of today is one of the biggest lies of Western society, Anglo-Saxon society. And it's the false idea of independence. Now hear me out, because I mean, you know, the word independence is so alluring, it's so emotional, it sounds so true. Just hear me out for a moment. The idea that we as human beings are individual and independent, and the fact that codependency, interdependency, has been turned into a negative concept, almost a dirty word, is one of the reasons Western society is so sick. It's destroyed in many ways. Of course, we are sovereign. We're not independent. We depend on everything around us. This idea that we don't need one another has made us really sick, ill, depressed, disempowered. Now I'm sitting now in a forest, in a beautiful forest. You can hear the birds. There's nothing in this forest that's independent. And nothing in this forest will survive on its own. Big tree gives shade to a small tree, to a small shrub. All trees have a life inside the earth. Deep roots suck water for plants with shallow roots. They talk to each other underneath the earth. They talk to each other above. There's male, female. The whole forest owes its survival to its codependency. Codependency, beautiful word, not like in Western psychology and Western propaganda. They always look at it as some sickness to be codependent. We are codependent. The out-breath of this tree is our in-breath. The out-breath of this tree is the oxygen, which is our in-breath. It's a cycle. It's a cycle of beautiful dependency. Now look at language. I'm quite a linguistic. Whoever has been following me for a longer time knows I'm an author. Independence. Look at the word. We are in dependence. We live in dependence, not out of dependence. We are one web of life. Look, and I normally don't shield my book and these videos or anything like this, but links below my book, I Crow River. Most of my book is about this, about the web of life, about the interdependency of the web of life. And the web of life is ours also, because we are part of the web of life. And when we recognize our interdependence, our codependency with everything, with the whole, there will be no sickness anymore on this earth, no more mental sickness, spiritual sickness. We will not be able to destroy the earth and destroy one another when we realize our codependency with everything. How can you destroy something that you're dependent upon? when one realizes inside here that they are codependent with Mother Earth, not possible to destroy her. When one realizes that they are codependent with their neighbor, with the neighboring country, not possible to destroy them, because we rely on one another. The male-female dynamic in the Western world, which is so sick, will heal. Because we'll stop feeling and coming from a point of view that we are these independent bubbles that somehow met. No, we met because we need one another. We need one another every step of the way. I remember there was a beautiful song, I think by a band called America, called I Need You, like the flower needs the rain. Everything needs one another. The birds that you hear, they depend on the trees, and they depend on many types of trees, some for shelter, some for food. Like I'll show you this thing here, for instance. The bird just came before and had a drink from it, so that's, you see, it falls off a tree and it creates a little drinking and bathing place for the birds. Everything is interdependent, is codependent. The stars, the moon, the sun, the galaxy, everything is interdependent on each other. Everything in life exists in relationship. Nothing exists on its own. One cannot thrive in isolation. We are codependent. It's a beautiful word. It's not a sick word like they teach you in all these new age workshops and things like this. Don't be codependent, be codependent. If you're human, make sure you're with the right people, with the people who resonate with you. And then drop all your walls. Embrace the fact that we are all in a relationship. We are in a relationship with the whole. And make that relationship a healthy one. And then we'll have no wars, no starvation, no sick societies, no poverty. Because the understanding of this web of life changes everything. There's a river here, right? Let's see if we can see it. This river flows to the ocean. The sun shines over the ocean. Water evaporates, creates clouds. The clouds roam, shift. It rains up in the hills here. And the cycle goes on. Our endless interconnectedness, our endless relationship with one another, our eternal codependency. It's a beautiful thing. I love the songbirds in the morning. It's one of the things I miss the most when I'm out of this country, is to wake up to this. And it's a full orchestra. So beautiful. Yeah, they talk, they chatter, they definitely talk to one another. They're announcing. We have to listen. Another world is possible. A better world is possible. There's a battle at the moment between light and dark. So every action counts. And we go back to the Freedom Day actions today. It's a ripple. It's small. It's a minority, but it creates ripples. I depend on you, you depend on me. Harmony, circle. I'm closed, you're closed, we're going alone. But there's nothing alone. There's nothing that exists alone. There's nothing that exists by itself. That would be reinventing the wheel. That would be changing the course of nature. I see so many people going for so many teachers and workshops and spend all this money on blah, blah, blah. Just go and sit in nature and observe it. Really observe it. You'll get all the answers you need. And our inner being is a reflection of nature once we are truly in tune with it. Why do we love so much to go to nature? Why do we feel so whole when we are in nature? Because nature reminds us how connected we all are. Nature reminds us that we're part of it, and it's part of us. Nature shows us, reflects to us that harmony is simple. That harmony is blissful. And more than all, the presence of nature stops our mind. It somehow forces us into the moment. One of the most important questions we need to ask ourselves daily: am I living, or am I just existing? Am I thriving, or am I just surviving? The American Indians have a blessing, a saying: to all my relations. Because all are my relations. So everything that they do, they offer to all my relations. So I personally offer this moment to all my relations. Love you all. Be present, be strong, be aware. The light has this thing that at the end, it always wins. It always triumphs. Until next time, namaste.